Hey, this is Matthew, and welcome back to Nerd News Today, and it's time for another action figure review. And today we're taking a look for the very first time at one of the Loyal Subjects Best Action figures. And no, that's not really the label I'm giving, because I don't know if they're actually the best, but that's the name of this brand here of action figures from the Loyal Subjects. It's spelled BST AXN. So we spoke to Jonathan Cathy during our Nerd News Today Toy Fair event just about a month ago or so, and we discussed what's going on with this Best Action line, and essentially the concept behind it is that these are 5-inch action figures that are meant to be disruptors in the action figure market. Because right now, currently the big size is essentially 6 inches. McFarlane is doing their kind of 7 inches. Diamond Select's doing their 7-inch thing as well. A few of the companies are still kind of dabbling in the 3 3/4 range, but really no one's touching the 5-inch range that much. And of course, we also know about import figures like SH Figuarts, who are doing more or less the 5-inch range as well. So it's kind of been a size that's out there, but hasn't been super popular yet in the US. So the Loyal Subjects is trying to capitalize on that and jump in with their line of 5-inch figures that are also really highly detailed, come with a lot of accessories, and are not too hard in your wallet. So today, kicking things off in our look at this 5-inch range of figures from the Loyal Subjects, we've got Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, I first watched Fullmetal back when it was on Toonami way back in, I guess, the mid-2000s when it was doing its very first run there, and I loved every minute of it. And I've watched Brotherhood since then. I've seen it again and again. What a great anime. If you haven't seen it, of course, you gotta check it out. It's up there with Cowboy Bebop, which, by the way, is another license that Loyal Subjects has the license for. So this figure represents Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which was, I believe, the remake of the series, which, again, I think that was on Toonami not that long ago. I think they replayed it a few years back, in fact, which is, again, a great anime, worth checking out if you haven't seen it. So first things first, let's just talk about this packaging here. And what's nice about it is that, again, it's a 5-inch figure, so it's a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. That means that the packaging is going to be equally smaller and compact. And that's really what we're getting here. You guys can see it's a pretty nice size, pretty thin, nice little window. And you can see the figure really great. On one side of the box, you've got a picture of Edward Elric, and the other side just has, and again, another part of the window, so nothing really to talk about there. Aside from that giant window in the front as well that we mentioned, you guys can see the accessories that come with this figure, as well as a nice picture of Edward from the anime. The back of the box has a pretty good bio about Edward Elric. It talks about kind of his motivations, who he is, and more or less kind of introduces you to what the character is all about. It also, again, shows us off that this figure comes with multiple accessories and boasts 29 points of articulation, and that's what I'm really interested in, because it says it's got swivel bicep and thigh joints, double knee, shoulder, and elbow joints, ball joints for maximum posability. So we're going to put that to the test today. We're going to see if those points of articulation actually do add up, because yeah, sometimes we've seen companies say, I've got this many, but when you actually get it in hand and try posing it and moving it around, you'll find that there's a lot of joints that are obstructed. And just looking at this figure here, I can definitely see 1 or 2 points I'm a little concerned about. So on that note, let's go ahead and get Edward out of the box and take a closer look at him from all angles. All right, and here is Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And so, by the way, I want to just throw in here, you guys can see I've got 2 hands on the ground here. Those are the 2 hands that he comes with, but also hidden inside the packaging is this little guy here. I'm not sure if this is a sticker or a decal or exactly what this is, but I'm assuming it's some kind of stick-on or something. I don't know, it might just be a piece of paper. But yeah, there it is. It just comes with a little extra thing here. Don't know why, but it's there. If anybody knows what it is, feel free to let me know. So first things first is that likeness. Does it look like Edward from the cartoon? And you know, that's a tough one to get because it is an anime, it is a 2D cartoon, but I think they did an excellent job here of translating that look into a figure here, and especially from the hair too. Like the hair is one of those iconic parts of an anime character. You either get it or you don't. And I think they got it here. It's a pretty nice looking sculpt here. Not necessarily the most like finessed and detailed looking sculpt, but the important parts are there, and it definitely has that anime feel to it. The face especially, it's got a really great likeness on it. And the way the light's kind of hitting it in those different angles too, I think it looks good. I think it looks like the cartoon. Same thing for the outfit too. I think the outfit looks very nice. I especially like what they did with the jacket here and how it's kind of flowing around him. That part's cool. Looks very dynamic. Got the logo in the back too. You've also got his giant boots, which are kind of iconic. I feel like they might be too big, but to be fair, it's probably how they were in the cartoon. I don't remember them being quite as big, but I remember them being pretty prominent. So even if they're exaggerating it a little bit, I think it still just works fine. Paint job on this toy is also very good. I don't think we've ever really had any problems with Loyal Subjects in the past in terms of their paint. We haven't looked at a ton of their stuff, but I've bought some of their things off camera for myself and haven't really reviewed them necessarily, but I think their paint jobs are always pretty good. They're always, you know, nice and even, rarely any slop, and I don't really see much of that here either. And keep in mind, we're working with some colors that can be pretty notorious for having a slop issue, meaning kind of overflow onto other things. Yellow paint tends to always get all over the place. Red is a very bold, strong color, and white is just generally tough to deal with because it's white, and, you know, it stains easily, but it looks all very clean here. And even looking at his other hand, we'll come to in a few moments, That looks good too. I mean, there's a little, maybe some dirt on the fingers, but that's kind of stuff that can probably just come right off eventually. But what I really want to test out is that articulation. Are all of the points of articulation actually manageable? So again, it's saying that there's nearly 30 points here. I want to test that out. So let's start with the head, and well, it does move, and it's ball jointed. It's a little stiff. It does move, or I'll give him that, but it is heavily restricted because of his ponytail, so you're not going to be able to do a lot with it. But it is moving. Let's see. Yeah, no, actually, it's better than I thought, to be fair. It's you know, I'll say it's a natural amount of movement, so that's fine. But yeah, going back and forth, not so much, but it does move left and right. So there's one. You got that down. The shoulders were my big issue here, and I'm worried about the jacket hindering the movement there, because he does have a butterfly joint in his arms. You can't quite see it, but he does have a butterfly joint, which means he should be able to like almost cross his arms if he wanted to. I can kind of expose his shoulders a little bit there. It looks like, yeah, you know, it's actually working. It's not hindered that bad. All right, well, that's a big surprise. He's got, looks like a single jointed elbow. That works. We don't have a bicep cut here, but we do have, again, that ball joint in the arm. That kind of takes care of that. Wrists move, and looks like they do flex as well. So here's another one that I'm curious about. The torso, does that move much, or is it hindered? No, that works really good too, and the waist moves also. You guys can see that here. The legs are moving very nicely as well too. There's a thigh cut here. You guys can see that. We have double jointed knees. I know this is a weird pose, but it's like the best way to check all the articulation for the legs now. And yeah, speaking of, the feet look like they move pretty good too, ball jointed, and I think they can also flex a little bit. Yeah, a little bit flexing here. So you know what? I am pleasantly surprised he can actually get all those points moving. Even if some are not necessarily moving as free as others, it's working. So everything is moving along really nicely here. One thing I do want to point out too, I'm showing you guys the bottom of the feet here, there are no peg holes, so you cannot put these on any display stands. I don't know if they plan on making any display stands in the future, but as of now, there's nothing on the bottom of his feet, and you can see that he's clearly able to stand. That part's great. I'm happy that he's able to stand, but the fact that there are no holes in the bottom of the feet do have me a little bit worried, because I feel like one day we're going to find a figure that doesn't stand, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So in terms of accessories, that would be his other set of hands here. So yeah, this blade that we see here, that's kind of a permanent fixture on the character, I believe. It looks like it does not come out, but I'm going to try and pop out this white hand here. That came out actually very, very easily. Let us try putting it back in with a different hand. It's an open hand, and that snapped right in. There we go. But it looks good. It pops out really nice and easy. Cool, all right. Well, while we got him here, let's go ahead and test him out with some other figures. And I want to bring in another Loyal Subjects Best Action figure. That's Napoleon Dynamite. You guys can see here that they are maybe scaled a little too close to each other, because I feel like Edward should be a lot shorter. And also here is Tarna from Incendium Online's heavy metal figures. These are all in the 5-inch scale. All look very nice together. But what about 6-inch figures? Do these scale in any way with those? Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Alexa Bliss, because she's one of the shorter wrestling characters from Mattel's WB line. She's an older figure also. And you guys can see she is definitely a lot bigger than he is. I'm going to bring in Darby Allin, again, one of the smaller sized wrestlers from AEW figures by Jazzwares. And yeah, a lot bigger. So this Full Metal figure, it's not going to really scale up at all with your 6-inch toys, and it shouldn't. It makes perfect sense. And you're not going to really be able to find too many sneaky ways to incorporate it into them. Now what my hopes are for Edward is that his brother is going to be a little bit taller. I'm hoping his brother might actually be closer to the size of Alexa Bliss, because if they don't make that toy bigger, that's going to be a problem for me. Especially considering the fact that right now we're seeing he's on scale with Napoleon Dynamite when he should definitely be shorter. Definitely some scale issues there. But that's going to kind of be the thing we look at in the future when we get more of these figures. And I'm definitely going to get more of these. Yeah, as I mentioned, they've got other anime licenses. They've got Cowboy Bebop. I believe they've got Naruto as well. They might even have One Piece. I don't quite remember off the top of my head, but I know they've got more anime in the works, along with a bunch of other movie licenses and TV show licenses. So there's a lot of stuff on the way from Loyal Subjects and this Best Action line. And I want to see where it goes. I'm liking this a lot. I really dig the articulation. I'm so impressed by that. I think as a translation to anime figures goes into toy form, this is very good here. And really right now, the only alternatives you have are Bandai's figures, and I happen to have actually one of theirs right here in front of us. This is from their Saint Seiya figure from their Anime Heroes line, which is again taller than the Full Metal figure that we're looking at right now. I think SH Figuarts figures are going to be closer in scale with these guys. But again, keep in mind, like those figures are going to be a lot more money. Figuarts tend to be around the $55, $60 range and beyond. Mafex figures too, they're going to be closer in the scale, but those are going to easily be hitting, $80 to $90 to $100 on any given day. So that's kind of the nice thing about these toys, and the fact that they're doing the anime license, is that this is a $15 item. $15 doesn't necessarily get you a lot of accessories, but it does give you a very nice action figure. It's going to look great on a display somewhere. You're not paying an arm or leg for it, and they're easy to find, more or less. Or in theory, easier to find. I haven't really found too many in the wild by me, but they're easier to find online. They're not going to be too tough to get, and they're going to be way cheaper than the alternatives out there, which are the Japanese import figures. So I think this is a line that if you're an anime fan, you want to keep your eyes on because they've got a lot of big things planned. Oh, how can I forget? Avatar: The Last Airbender figures. That's also coming out this year. So yeah, they're going to all be in scale with each other. Very expansive series. And as it grows, you're going to have more guys that size up with each other. 5 inches is kind of the new in wave right now for toys. A lot of companies are starting to do that kind of stuff with it. So just be on the lookout for more of them. But again, for my money, this is a really great figure. Very impressed. Liking it a lot. I think you will too. So if you want to buy one, go ahead and check out our Amazon.com affiliate links in the description below. They help support our website at no additional cost to you. So again, that's our look at Edward Elric from the Loyal Subjects Best Action line. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think about this type of figure here, and if you want to see more of them on the channel. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys here next time.